Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Meditation Minyan. I'm Rabbi Hannah Leslie Glazer of Congregation Adarim, and we appreciate everyone who is on with us, both live on the Zoom and then watching the recording afterwards. We're glad you're here. So we are working on counting the Omer, which is the Jewish ritual practice of counting the 49 days between the start of Passover and the start of the holiday of Shavuot. And those 49 days also come out to 7 weeks. And so there is a Jewish spiritual practice of following a different spiritual trait for each of the 7 weeks of the Omer. And those traits are called sfirot in Jewish mysticism. And we have been doing one of them each week. So this week we are into the fourth one, which is called Netzach. And I'm going to type it here into the chat. Netzach is has a lot of different meanings. Netzach can mean initiative. It can mean persistence and perseverance. It can also mean eternity. And when something perseveres and persists, it goes on and on and on and on and on. So it's kind of a nice, anyway, there may be different pieces of it that appeal to you and resonate for you, and you can think about what that might be. We've been thinking about the Sfirot as a way of looking at addressing something that we'd rather release and let go, particular behavior patterns or relationship patterns, things that we'd like to release and let go. And so it is also a way of working on that, is looking at Netzach. Netzach would be the initiative to make change. Netzach could be the ability to be able to see into the future, to be able to see a future where there is a great change, and you can kind of play with it and see where you go. All right, so it's time for our meditation. I'm going to invite you to get comfortable in your seat. For Netzach, it's really important to make sure we're grounded first. So you're going to want to, kind of take your notice where your arms are positioned, your legs, your feet, and have everything grounded, resting, leaning against something so you can connect with the earth. So if you've got your back against a seat, you can also feel the seat is holding you. You may remember that in terms of the Sfirot, we started with Chesed. Chesed was love that flowed everywhere, had no bounds. Very fluid. Gevura being the container that helps hold the Chesed in so that we can tank up when we feel empty. Tiferet is the balance of what happens when Chesed and Gevura combine, and there is that delicate balance where we're sort of moving from one side to the other. It is a somewhat dynamic state. And then Netzach is us really planting our feet on the ground and springing off in a particular direction. It's the initiative that helps us get something done in the, thinking of the chakras, it's like in the, in the upper belly, not quite the solar plexus, but like right beneath the solar plexus. It's the idea that helps us to get up and go, to start on something, to continue something. We need energy to be able to continue that something. And Netzach can also be eternity. Which can be deep, can be broad. It's basically the idea that that our initiative doesn't need to know any bounds, just like Chesed doesn't need to know boundaries. If we're working on a particular behavior pattern, Netzach can be the reassurance and the security of knowing that we've got time to work on it. Also a certain spaciousness. There are lots of different metaphors and qualities there for you to work on, think about, explore. And I'm going to mute now. We will have about 12 more minutes to explore Netzach. All right, we're slowly going to come back from our meditation. Come back as you're comfortable. Netzach is a really powerful one of the Sefirot, and it is the energy that powers all the rest of them. The final remaining 3 that we've got. This is great energy to get stuff done. If you have things that you've been kind of putting off, now's a good time to jump in. I've definitely been drawing on that energy this week to get some things done I needed to do, and maybe for a blessing. And thanks again for joining us. And I put a link into the chat with some more information about the Omer. You can click and download, and happy reading. Thanks again for joining us. We'll see you next week.